Welcome to DROdio Real Estate Inc. We're a full-service real estate company serving Virginia, Maryland, and Washington, D.C. Today we're going to talk about auctions. I went to an auction recently, and here's what I found.
An auction of some property located in Northern Virginia. We're in Tyson's Corner right now. The first thing that strikes me about this is that the parking lot is just completely packed. This is on a Sunday where usually people would be leaving the hotel, but I think it's because of this auction. There's just cars everywhere, so that says a lot to me about the state of the market here. Let's go inside. By the way, this is DROdio with DROdio Real Estate. Let's go inside and take a look.
It was an auction book that just had hundreds of properties in it, and a number of auctions in Virginia being held from the D.C. area to points further south and west.
So here's how the auction works. There's a bank. This portfolio is from a couple different banks. Like you can see, this is a Washington Mutual property right here. PA is a different bank. SXN is a different bank. So what happens is it's interesting because even if you're the high bidder, the bank has the right to counteroffer your high bid. So you won't necessarily get the price just because you're the high bidder, although I'm sure people don't realize that, or a lot of people don't. Some different contacts. And there's also a 5% premium that's put on top of the winning bid price.
Property number 317 is next. Gentlemen, study your lessons here now. Back to the money. Count it all who'll play on this one. Back to the next table, about 75 who'll do it. At 75 or about 100 pounds. At 75 or about 100 pounds. Over about 10. Taking over about 110 pounds. A lot of public ones here. 100 pounds, 110, 120, 130, 130, 140, 150 pounds an hour. 140 pounds over about 145. 140 pounds over about.
The amazing thing about this auction was that there were people in the white shirts that were roaming the room and finding those who wanted to bid and then pointing them out to the auctioneer at the front. And so somebody in the back of the room might bid, and then the gentleman would raise his hand just like he just did there to indicate their bid. But properties were selling for, I personally didn't see any properties sell for more than $200,000. These were townhomes and even single family properties that were selling at quite a discount from their usual price. Now, of course, the big risk and disadvantage of these properties is that you do not have the ability to inspect them before buying them, so you're buying them sight unseen, except for the exterior.
Back to you, Tom. You were about 170. At 167, about 170 pounds. And you were about 170 pounds. And now 2.5. 170 pounds over about.
It's crazy, huh?
We saw a gentleman being interviewed by ABC Channel 7 News, so we thought we'd interview him ourselves. Turns out that he made a winning bid on an auction property, and here's what he had to say.
What's your name?
John Johnson.
John Daniel. Nice to meet you. So you just bid on a property and won the bid?
Yes.
Is this your first time doing it?
No, it's not my first time. I've done it a few times in the past.
So you're a pro? Kind of.
Semi. I'm not. I don't go to auctions that often, but
Yeah.
every one I've gone to, I have bid on and won something. So.
Okay, so once you win the bid, is there a buyer's premium?
Yes, there's a 5% buyer's premium at this auction.
Is that average or?
That's about average.
So it's 5% above your winning bid.
Above
price.
your winning bid price.
Gotcha. And then these are usually bank-owned properties, right?
Yes.
Are they always bank-owned properties?
Yes, sometimes lenders foreclose, so it's not, I mean, you have hard money lenders or whatever,
Yeah,
but
okay. Gotcha.
sometimes they foreclose on people, but for the most part it's bank owned, or I'm not sure if there's any tax lien properties in here, but.
Okay. How often does the bank take your bid, or is there a situation where you think you've won but you haven't won?
Not usually when it's foreclosed on. That's pretty much a done deal. In a tax sale, it's a little different.
What's the difference?
The difference in a foreclosure, once it's sold,
It's gone.
sold.
Okay.
In a tax sale, the owner still has an opportunity to even up to like 6 months to redeem their property.
So you think you got it, and then
And
suddenly
then
the owner
someone can
comes back
come and pay their
and
taxes
pays their
on
tax
it,
bill.
and
Gotcha.
then, you know.
And the tax bill might only be $1,000 or something.
Exactly.
So
And this is foreclosure.
this is foreclosure. This is final.
this is final.
Yes.
So if you get it, you've got it. It's yours.
It's yours.
What do you do with the properties? Do you rent them out, or do you?
Some cases rent them out. In some cases, hopefully you don't need to put too much money in it.
Yeah.
And you can resell them.
Do you inspect them before you bid on them? Or?
You're not allowed to usually inspect. You can drive by.
Yeah, but you can't go inside.
You can't go inside the property, but you can drive by. So
did you
it's
drive-
a gamble, like
Yeah, right.
everything else.
Did you drive by the one
Yes.
where?
That I want, yes.
What kind of pricing did you get on the property that you want? Or how much of a deal did you get? Do you think? Like,
I think at 200,000, it was a pretty good deal.
So-
for a house, you can't build that house for
$200,000.
for $200,000.
so houses around it might have been selling for what, like?
The upper threes.
Okay,
in
so
that area.
$150,000, $180,000 discount. That's not bad.
Not in all cases.
Not in all cases. Yeah.
But then again, with the market, it could stay on the market for a year.
Yeah,
so
right,
it doesn't
right.
really matter.
Are there
So you
ever
have
people?
to be able to absorb the long term, because you might have to hold on to that house for a while.
Wow. Is it hard to get financing? Do you get financing, or do you just pay cash, or
No.
the banks?
It's usually financing on it. And then again, your credit, that matters also. So.
But banks will finance foreclosed properties, like.
Oh yes,
you can go.
yes, you can definitely get a bank to finance a foreclosed property, by all means.
What percent do you have to put down usually?
It depends. It depends. Your credit scores. If your credit scores are good enough, it could be zero now.
Really? So it's like a regular
It's
home
like a
purchase.
regular home purchase.
Gotcha. You just haven't seen the inside of the
Just
house.
haven't seen the inside.
Are there ever people living there still? Like you go knock on the door, and or are they?
There are cases where people do not want to leave their
Yeah.
home.
Have you had to kick anybody out yet?
Oh yes, there have been cases where you have to kick people out. Then again, that's a process.
Yeah.
You can't just go and say, "I bought this home." You have to go.
Right,
You have
right.
to go through the courts. It's a process.
How long does it take for the courts to get people out of there?
The court system. It
Yeah.
could be a month. It could be 3 months. It could be 6 months. But usually in a foreclosure, in this case, no one lives at that property, so I don't think I'm gonna have too much trouble.
Because you drove by, so you know that it's vacant. You did your homework.
Yes.
It sounds like you have to do your homework with this stuff.
You should do
So
your
you do your homework, or else you might find yourself in a.
You could go inside and you got a house for $100,000 and you need $150,000 to fix it up.
You ever like peek in the windows kind of thing? Yeah.
So you kind of
Yeah.
hope for the best.
Anything else that people should know, like tips or things that might get them in trouble if they don't know?
Just always do your homework.
Yeah.
Always.
Cool.
That's the best advice I can give you.
Yeah.
If you're really interested in something, take the time to drive by and look at it. And do a market analysis.
Right.
Look at what houses are selling for in the neighborhood.
You think it's worth having a realtor when you're buying foreclosures, or do you think you can do it without one? Like,
In my case, I just happen to have one.
yeah.
But not everyone has a realtor.
Yeah.
So no, it's not a necessity.
If you can do your homework.
Yeah. It's not a necessity that you have a realtor, but it's always helpful.
But then you as the buyer would have to pay the realtor, right? Because the bank's not going to pay him. So.
I like to have a realtor do, the legwork as far as trying to get the property sold and all that. But you also have options to try to sell a home yourself.
Yeah, sure.
So that's about it.
Well, thank you. Thanks for educating people. Really
No problem.
appreciate it. And good luck with your purchase.
Although I don't completely agree with all of the things John said, I think he was a great case study showing what it's like to buy a foreclosure property. One of the things that he minimalized that is important for people to realize is that there's a lot of terms in the paperwork which can be arduous, such as the as-is clause and the amount of earnest money deposit. The fact that there's a 5% buyer premium, meaning you pay 5% more than you bid, and also the bank is not required to accept the offer. The bank can counter offer, so you might walk out thinking you've won the bid when in fact you've really only made an offer. But overall, some good insight. Just make sure that you have a realtor who knows his stuff or her stuff and can look at the contract. This has been another DROdio production. We have a lot of blogs and resources, information for you on our website, DROdio.com, and we're always here to help.